Although lots of media and sensationalist articles have made it seem like our jobs will soon be taken over by robots, this is not true. There's a false expectation for robots to be anthropomorphic, and thus capable of taking over human labor, especially with superior computing power. However, the truth is that artificial intelligence is barely capable of being as capable as a child. The human mind is much too complex to replicate, much less replace. AI definitely still holds a lot of potential. They can learn and react in ways that are more reminiscent of animals. Throughout history, humans have used relationships with animals to make our lives easier. Oxen enabled a transformation of agriculture, while horses and camels allowed for longer distance travel and transportation. Dogs aided us in food hunting while becoming lifetime companions. Robots can fill the same niche that animals already do and help to improve our quality of life. This isn't the first time in history that we've been made to question whether we'll all lose our jobs. Technological revolutions are world-changing, but first, they have to change the minds of the people who fear that their livelihoods will be ripped away from them. But as we can see, steam-powered engines, electricity, even textile machines have made our lives better and opened up more job opportunities. We rely on technological advances for multiple purposes. It has managed to make working conditions safer and made work become more efficient. We used animals the same way. The canaries were used in mines as a warning system for toxic gas, carrier pigeons as communication devices, ferrets ran wires and cables, while rats became detectors for landmines. These animals were all trained to do these jobs, and we're doing the same by building robots. At this point, we have evidence to believe that machines and technology can help to make our lives better. However, we forget that all these creations are products and can be flawed. Foxtomation is what it's called when a new automated system is created that actually creates more work. Robots are still liable to make mistakes or undergo malfunctions. It is impossible to expect robots to be perfect and accurate 100% of the time. Thus, we need to focus on solving problems and prioritizing the functions we want these robots to perform. Having an anthropomorphic robot might not be helpful at all, even though we're used to seeing this shape as a helpful one when it comes to working. By looking at the way animals have helped us in the past, we may be able to create better robot helpers. We've always had close relationships with animals, ones that go beyond being a working transaction. Research has shown that having an animal presence can lower stress levels, boost immune systems, and even reduce pain. As such, therapy animals have become popular in schools, hospitals, and assisted living facilities. They offer such comfort and companionship that even a robotic alternative has been created. These assistants don't have the limitations that animals do, but can help provide relief and comfort to those who need it. We have a tendency to humanize robots, whether by making them human-shaped or assigning human qualities to them. It's not uncommon to see such behavior as naming our one's Roomba. We get easily attached to these helpful little assistants the same way we might with a pet. And just as with a sick pet, we don't want a new device if our old one can be fixed up. It can be troublesome when we treat these objects as though they are truly alive. With how much we rely on the convenience of virtual assistants such as Siri, we may forget about the privacy risks they pose. While we clearly appreciate the companionship of pets, our stances when it comes to animal welfare may not make the most sense, especially when it comes to consistency. This is the same when it comes to the legalities too. Where is the line drawn between food and pet? Why would cockfighting be outlawed, but chickens allowed to live terrible lives in industrial farms? We can have selective empathy when it comes to different species of animals. Cats and dogs are to be cared for regardless of whether they are strays. Pigs are just as intelligent as dogs, but we are more likely to regard them as dirty and smelly than to let them into our homes. As such, we will need to think about ethics as robots become more commonplace. At the same time, it might be appropriate to look back on how animals are treated and revamp the laws governing them.